Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really fun video and I'm going to be telling you guys how and why I annotate my books. So I have a couple of books to show you as examples of how I annotate my books, but I wanted to start with why I annotate my books. So there has been a massive divide here on BookTube and on Bookstagram and BookTok and book blogs with people either on one side where they love annotating and they think it's amazing, and then the other side where people are absolutely horrified at the idea of writing in your books. The reason that I annotate my books, there are a couple of reasons actually. The first reason that I annotate my books is to help with reviews. So if I know I'm going to be doing a review for a book, then I like to annotate it because it means that I can keep track of certain aspects that I want to discuss in that review. A good example of this would be an ARC or a review copy that I was sent. This is Chilling Effect by Valerie Valdez. This is a sci-fi and it's really cute, an amazing book. I would definitely recommend it, but the main reason that I tabbed this book was because I knew that I was going to be writing a review for it. Tabbing it meant that I could keep track of different things that I wanted to discuss in the review, so character development, plot development, exciting moments, quotes, key events, that sort of thing. So I will use different tabs to relate to different things. I'll go into a little bit more detail on that later on, but that is the first reason that I will tab a book. The second reason that I will tab a book is just because I enjoy the book. If I start reading a book and I know instantly that I have that feeling where I think I'm going to really enjoy a book and it's going to become a favourite, I will tend to start tabbing it just because I know that there are moments and quotes that I want to remember in the future. So a good example of that is And I Darken by Kirsten White. This is a fantasy and as you can see I tabbed it quite heavily. For this one I didn't use different coloured tabs to relate to different topics. So for this one I just used random sticky tabs that I had left over so that I didn't waste them. And yeah, for this one I was just tabbing key moments that I loved, things I want to remember in the future because I enjoyed the book. So this was not tabbing specifically for a review, it was just tabbing for enjoyment really. So another way that I use tabs within my books is to tab the chapters. This just helps me keep track of how far into the book I am. It's totally unnecessary and it's probably the most useless reason that I tab books, but I like to tab the chapters, especially if I'm reading a book that has multiple points of view. I did this with my Song of Ice and Fire series. When I read Game of Thrones and I read the whole series, I tabbed the different chapters with different tab colours depending on whose point of view the chapter was in. Okay, so A Feast for Crows is a really good example actually. I should have used this one to begin with, but as you can see I tabbed the different chapters depending on whose point of view the chapter was from. And I know that if I look at an orange chapter, it's from Jamie's point of view. If I look at a pink chapter, it's from Brienne's point of view. So it's really easy to quickly find chapters depending on whose point of view you're looking for. So if you're writing a review about a book or you're trying to remember something that happened in a book and you know that it was in a certain character's point of view, or you know that it heavily involved a certain character, it can be easier to find those chapters by looking at the tabs. I hope that makes sense. So as you can see, I tabbed this one a lot. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know this series very well, this is the second book and it's long, as you can see. It's a brick. All of these books are long, but tabbing these books was a game changer, and honestly I would have struggled so much if I did not tab these books, because when I went to pick up the next one I could look through the previous book and find key moments, important things that happened, and it just made it so much easier to read this gigantic series. So if you're reading a long series like this with books that are humongous, I would definitely recommend that you tab them. It is a game changer and it made such a difference to my reading life. So I do use different coloured tabs for different topics, as I mentioned earlier. If I have a favourite character, I might dedicate a coloured tab to that favourite character. I believe that blue might have been John, because John was my favourite character and I wanted to remember and find and note important moments with him as my favourite character. I believe that pink was my favourite moments or moments that I liked. Yellow was quotes that I enjoyed. Green was character development. Purple was key plot points. Normally I will tab key plot points, key character development moments, quotes I enjoy, moments I enjoy, or like my favourite moments, and possibly moments with a favourite character. So that is how I tab and organise with my sticky tabs. I will do a close-up on this soon, but I wanted to go over a couple of products that I enjoy and that I recommend, especially if you're just getting started in annotating. These products can be really useful. So a lot of people find annotating in books really daunting and overwhelming, and it can be really hard to write in a book for the first time. I like to underline and I like to highlight in my books, but I do have some recommendations. So if you are intimidated by writing in your books, or it's just something that you don't feel comfortable with or you don't want to do, I would highly recommend that you start with tabbing your books, because they are removable, they don't damage your book, and they do actually look quite aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. There are a few different options when it comes to tabbing your books and which tabs you choose. So the ones that I use the most often are just these plastic ones I bought from Amazon. They come in a bunch of different colours. These ones are neon, but you can definitely get pastel ones or ones with slightly more muted tones, so it's totally up to you, but I tend to get these ones because they are the most inexpensive and I go through tabs like nobody's business, so I need inexpensive tabs, and these were the best value for money that I could find at the time, so these are the ones that I use the most. And if you are going for the aesthetic look and you're not so much worried about the cost of them or how durable they are, you can also get patterned or cute shaped paper ones. So I have these ones. So the first one is this cake design. I bought these specifically for my reread of To All the Boys I've Loved Before, like the whole trilogy. Obviously Lara Jean bakes a lot in those books, so I wanted to get these really cute cake sticky tabs to use when I reread the books because I am that extra. But I thought they were so cute. I saw them and immediately when I saw them I thought of that trilogy, and I know that I've been wanting to reread it for such a long time, so these just seemed perfect for that. I also have these little dog ones and some little froggy ones, so yeah, you can get these really cute ones. They're not that expensive, but they are definitely not as durable. So if you're looking for something that's cute and aesthetic, I would recommend these, but if you're looking for something that is durable, that lasts longer and is more, you know, good value for money, I would recommend that you get the plastic ones. That is my preference, but it totally depends on the look that you're going for and what you value more. In terms of pens, if you are wanting to write notes in your books, if you're wanting to underline and annotate physically with a pen, I would 100% recommend that you invest in a good erasable pen. So I have this one. I bought it on Amazon. I'm not sure the brand, but they come in a pack of 6, I believe. They come with the replaceable cartridges, so once you have finished one, you just replace it and you can reuse the barrel multiple times. Like I said, I think it came with 6 and there was 2 of each design. I think there was 3 designs. So from memory, there was like a little bear, there's a panda and a pig, I believe. But they're really cute. They're a really thin nib as well, which is ideal because if you're wanting to write notes in books, you need to write very small. So a thin nibbed pen like this is ideal, and they are erasable. So if you're underlining and you jog yourself, you underline the wrong part, you can just erase it, which is perfect. The ink is more of a dark grey than an actual black, so personally I think it just looks a little bit nicer in the book rather than a really dark bold black line. When it comes to highlighters, I also recommend an erasable highlighter. I have the Pilot Friction pastel highlighters. Again, personally, I think that pastel looks a little bit nicer in a book. It's not as bold and overwhelming as bright neon highlighters. It is totally your preference though, and I would also recommend that if you can, it's really useful to match your highlighter pen colour to the colour of the sticky tabs. If you're highlighting a moment that you really enjoy and you're using, say, a pink sticky tab to annotate moments that you really enjoy, you could use a pink highlighter to highlight that section, and it just makes it a little bit more cohesive. It's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, and it just makes it a lot easier to find things. So if you're flipping through a book and you see some pink underlining, you know instantly it's a moment that you liked. Or if you use yellow for quotes that you really enjoy, you underline it in yellow or you highlight it in yellow sticky tab. It just makes it so much quicker and so much easier to find that thing that you're looking for. I'm gonna insert some clips now of my books that I have annotated. Obviously there may be spoilers if you read what is on the page, but I will try and do some books with annotations that are quite close to the beginning of the book, just in case I do spoil anybody. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see future videos from me. I'm trying really hard to post more consistently and really revive this channel. But yeah, if you're interested to see some close-ups of how I annotate, then keep watching, but you will see me in the next video. Bye guys.